Titled Shattered Lives. Chapter 1: The Perfect Family. Daniel and Emma had been married for 15 years, and to everyone who knew them, they were the golden couple. Daniel was a respected cardiologist, and Emma was a successful real estate agent. They had two children, Sophie, a talented high school senior with dreams of becoming a lawyer, and Liam, a college sophomore studying engineering. Their lives seemed picture-perfect until the cracks began to show. Emma had always been the life of the party, charismatic and outgoing. But lately, Daniel noticed she was spending more time on her phone, often staying late at work, and seemed distant. He brushed it off as stress, but deep down, a nagging suspicion grew. One evening, while Emma was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. Daniel hesitated but couldn't resist glancing at the screen. A message from an unknown number flashed. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Babe, same place." His heart sank. Chapter 2: The Investigation. Daniel decided to confront Emma but wanted to be sure of his suspicions first. He began to pay closer attention to her routines. He noticed she often left for work earlier than necessary and came home later than usual. One day, he followed her after she claimed to have a client meeting. To his shock, she drove to a nearby hotel. Daniel's stomach churned as he watched her walk inside, her laughter echoing as she greeted a man in the lobby. He recognized him instantly. It was Jake, her college ex-boyfriend. Daniel's mind raced. He felt betrayed, angry, and heartbroken all at once. But he knew he needed proof before confronting her. Over the next few weeks, Daniel hired a private investigator and gathered undeniable evidence of Emma's affair. Photos, text messages, and even hotel receipts confirmed his worst fears. Chapter 3: The Confrontation. One night, after the kids were asleep, Daniel sat Emma down in the living room. He placed a folder of evidence on the table and looked her in the eye. "I know about Jake," he said, his voice trembling. Emma's face turned pale. She tried to deny it at first, but when Daniel showed her the photos and messages, she broke down in tears. "I'm so sorry, Daniel," she sobbed. "It was a mistake. I never meant to hurt you." Daniel's voice was cold. "A mistake? This has been going on for months, Emma. You lied to me, to our kids, to everyone. How could you do this?" The confrontation ended in tears and shouting, leaving their marriage in ruins. Chapter 4: The Fallout. The revelation of Emma's affair shattered their family. Daniel moved into the guest room, and the once happy home became a battlefield of silence and tension. The kids sensed something was wrong, but Daniel and Emma tried to shield them from the truth for a while. Sophie, who was applying to prestigious law schools, overheard her parents arguing one night. She confronted Daniel, demanding to know what was going on. Reluctantly, he told her the truth. "Your mother has been having an affair," he said, his voice heavy with pain. Sophie was devastated. She had always looked up to her parents as role models, and the betrayal crushed her. Her grades began to slip, and she withdrew from her friends and extracurricular activities. Liam, who was away at college, found out through a phone call from Sophie. He was furious and refused to speak to Emma for weeks. The stress of the situation affected his studies, and he began struggling in his engineering program. Chapter 5: Social Ruin. The affair didn't just destroy their family, it ruined their social lives. Emma's infidelity became the talk of their small town. Friends and colleagues who had once admired her now avoided her. Daniel, though the victim, felt the sting of judgment as well. At work, Emma's reputation took a hit, clients began to pull away, and her real estate business suffered. Daniel, too, found it hard to focus at the hospital. The stress of the divorce and the fallout from the affair began to affect his performance. Sophie's dream of attending a top law school was dashed when her grades plummeted. She ended up settling for a lesser-known school, her confidence and ambition shattered. Liam, overwhelmed by the family drama, dropped out of college for a semester, putting his engineering career on hold. Chapter 6: The Divorce. Daniel filed for divorce, and the proceedings were messy. Emma fought for custody of the kids, but Sophie and Liam, both over 18, chose to live with Daniel. The court battles drained their finances, leaving them all in a precarious position. Emma, Once the life of the party, became a pariah. She tried to apologize and explain, but no one was willing to forgive her. Even her own parents were disappointed in her, and she found herself isolated and alone. Chapter 7. Picking up the pieces. Months turned into years, and the family slowly began to rebuild their lives. Daniel focused on his career and his relationship with the kids. Sophie eventually graduated from law school, though it wasn't the Ivy League institution she had dreamed of. Liam returned to college and completed his degree, but the scars of the past remained. Emma, on the other hand, struggled to find her footing. She moved to a new city, hoping to start over, but the weight of her actions followed her. She tried to reconnect with Sophie and Liam, but the damage was too deep. Chapter 8. A bittersweet ending. The story ends with Daniel reflecting on the life they once had and the lives they now lead. Though he had moved on, the betrayal still haunted him. Sophie and Liam, though successful in their own right, carried the emotional scars of their parents' broken marriage. Emma, alone and remorseful, realized too late that her actions had destroyed not just her marriage, but the lives of everyone she loved.